Welcome to another episode of Interviews with the Forum Magazine. Today, we're excited to introduce a guest who's making a tremendous impact, not only in Detroit, but across the nation. Mario Kelly of Believe 313 Staffing. Believe Staffing is more than just a staffing agency. It's a movement based right here in Detroit. Their mission is to provide employment opportunities to undeserved communities while offering exceptional cleaning and staffing services nationwide. Since its founding, Believe 313 has hired over 8,000 employees, including 2,000 returning citizens, opening doors and creating pathways of success or to success for people from all walks of life. From Detroit's top venues like the Shinola Hotel, Ford Field, Comerica Park, and Little Caesars Arena, to supporting major concerts like Taylor Swift and Beyonce's tours. Believe 313 specializes in large-scale commercial cleaning and staffing for the biggest events. But their work goes beyond just staffing. They're dedicated to social impact. Through their groundbreaking Cage Rage program launched in 2024, they offer returning citizens training in emotional intelligence, soft skills, job readiness, and entrepreneurship, providing a lifeline to those seeking a second chance at life and a career. Expanded beyond Detroit, Believe 313 has opened a franchise in Jacksonville, Florida, and recently secured a government contract to clean Fort Devens in Boston, Massachusetts. They're on a mission to grow nationally while staying deeply connected to Detroit's entrepreneur ecosystem. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journey of Mario Kelly and how Believe 313 Staffing is setting a standard for workforce development, social responsibility, and community empowerment. Without further ado, our guest today, Mario Kelly, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed, brother. I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you here, man. I remember the first time that I watched Earn Your Leisure a lot.
Okay.
And it's funny that I actually got an opportunity to see you on Earn Your Leisure before I even found out that we was connected in any type of way. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And what you've been able to do, as a black man in general, but we always add emphasis on Detroit. You know what I mean? Coming from Detroit, what you've been able to do is phenomenal, man. So today, man, we would like to, walk through that journey and kind of take a peek, into the mindset, the ideas, the discipline, the obstacles, and all of the things that you had to overcome to stand where you at today, man.
Okay,
So
most definitely.
First and foremost, how you feeling today, man? What's the vibe to the day?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Just coming from the barbershop, man, to come down here. It's a blessing to be here, actually. Some legends have sat in this seat before, have been in this room. So I'm just blessed to be in the same aura as the people who've sat here before me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, just to kind of set the tone, man, and work our way up, bro. I kind of want to start it at the beginning. I kind of want to go to the origin, man. If you can, tell us where you from and, what was your life like coming up in Detroit?
I'm from the projects, Canfield 75 on the east side. I was an athlete growing up, I thought I was going to go to the NFL, thought I was going to go to the NBA like all the other kids in the city of Detroit, but a lot of times the area we grow up, it kind of pulls us in the opposite direction. So, just like 90% of the people from Detroit, I got caught up in the streets early, thinking that going out of town and shooting down to Arizona was going to be the way, honestly. But I was just lucky that I was either 30 minutes before or 30 minutes late. That's what I always tell people who I in Cage Rage, that I'm no different than you. I just really left 30 minutes before the trouble came, or I left 30 minutes after, so, life is always, God always had his hand on me. I can tell you that.
No, 100%. Yeah. Even at that young age, did you have a leader mindset where, you understood life bigger? I mean, sometimes we still make mistakes, but it's still in us to be leaders and,
Yes, yes.
you know, visionaries.
Yeah, but I think my whole life I played either point guard or quarterback. So I feel like I've always had to be in that leader role. You know, growing up from, you know, playing PAL, you know, growing up to middle school, high school, I've always been in that leader role just on the sports level. I've always had an entrepreneur mindset. I've always tried to invent something, or if I had a job somewhere, I always felt like I can make the job easier or bring something to the job to tell them, hey, we should do it like this, we should do it like that. So I always had an entrepreneur mindset, just didn't know how it was going to come out.
Yeah, yeah. And would you attribute any of that to maybe like your parents? Like, how was that,
Oh, yeah.
you know, with your mom, dad? Like, how was that, you know,
Most
structure?
definitely. I would say I was a YBI kid. You know, my parents was more so in that lifestyle. You know, but my mother was very independent. She did makeup, she did flowers. You know what I'm saying? As they say now, she had the bag at one point in time. You know, she was always throwing it at the wall, and whatever stuck at that particular time was what she was going with. So I've always been independent. You know, I remember at 5, 6 years old, she having me and my cousin, Keyron, K.A., as they know him, she was making flowers up and then send us to the gas station to sell the flowers. You know, me and him would go to Farmer Jack's and wait for people to come out and say, hey, can we carry your bags to the car? You know, so I always had that hustler's mindset. That comes from my parents.
What about Pops?
Actually, man, I met my father on Facebook when I was 35 years old. You know, I got to a point I used to the running joke growing up playing football is I was the only kid who didn't have their father's name on his birth certificate. So when I got older, my mother told me what his name was. I looked him up on Facebook, called him. He lived in California, man. And I got 5 brothers and sisters. You know, what I just did not too long ago was I did a DNA test on Ancestry.com. And my history runs all the way back to Nigeria. You know, I just did that. But Pops, on his side that I seen that all of his kids have high school diploma and college diplomas. You know, they're all in some form of a high paying job, you know, and he did his due diligence with them, you know. But, you know, sometimes growing up, mom was just really living that life. Ran across him, and you know how Detroit women is. She's like, listen, go on about your business. I can assume. I can assume. So he just went on to California and lived this life. But, you know, we have a good relationship. Man.
That's good. That's good. Even to be able to, you know, reach back and kind of not hold on to that. I think a lot of times, man, we hold on to, you know, things that probably would heal us and make us, you know, better men and women, you know what I mean, as we get older. You said K.A. is your family.
Yeah, that's my first cousin. Man. That's my mother's brother's son.
Explain, if you can, how was he as a young man? Like, you know what I mean? Because we know K.A., you know, Detroit legend, man, and you know, ultimate hustler, man.
And he been like that his whole life. I remember one time he had went to, he got in some trouble when he was young, juvenile. And he came home, he had read the whole dictionary, you know, and I feel like that was part of his journey in rap, you know what I'm saying? K.A. always been a hustler, you know. Like I said, we was going to Farmer Jack's, you know, getting bags, walking to groceries, selling flowers on Mother's Day, selling stuff, you know, balloons and teddy bear on Father's Day. You know, cuz always been, you know, he'd been this person his whole life.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Shout out to K.A.
Yeah, most definitely.
You said you grew up like in them, like your parents was like the YBI era.
Yeah.
If you can, bro, explain like what you saw growing up, you know, with that scene. Like, and I think it's important to highlight it specifically with you because of where you are now.
Yeah.
And for people to understand really that you literally come from, you know, the streets of Detroit. And oftentimes when we can see somebody that was able to pull themselves out the mud, it kind of make us believe that we can do it
most definitely.
as well, you know? So talk a little bit about that era. Talk about like some of the cliques that you saw in your high school times or middle school, like when you was coming up and the culture of Detroit then.
Well, growing up in that era, as far as a kid, I remember playing with White Boy Rick's son, you know, Demetrius Holloway is my godfather. I remember coming down on Christmas, having some of the best Christmases ever, where it's nothing but toys and Gucci bags.
You
And,
come from a real hustling background.
you know, none of that, everything just all on the floor. I remember coming down one Christmas, man, and you couldn't even see the carpet. You know, with so many toys and Gucci bags. And, you know, mom did her thing back in the day. So, you know, luckily she, like I said, she never got in any trouble. But my stepfather at that time, he was real deep into it. You know, he got into a little trouble back in the day, but I just remember him being a man. You know, it was different then and now.
Yeah.
I remember him being that man that just whatever we want, you know, every Sunday he took us to the show, or we went to see the point. My uncle, she took us to Disneyland, Disney World 2-3 times a year.
Mm.
You know, it was a great childhood growing up, you know, but moving forward as far as like high school, I lived in the projects called the Digs. And, you know,
What area is that?
Canfield 75,
Okay.
down, like more so downtown.
Okay.
Diggs, Brewsters, all that
Okay,
area.
yeah.
You know, so it was more so like if you from the Brewsters, you know, you don't go to the Jeffrey side. If you're from the Jeffries, you don't come over here. So at first, you know, growing up, it was a projects versus projects. But later on in life, when we get to Murray, we like all came together like a transformer.
Hmm.
You know, it was a night. Actually, for myself, I was always neutral because I played sports. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from the Jeffries, from the Brewsters, whoever, they always showed me love because I was the quarterback, you know.
How would you describe yourself in high school if you was able to? I know you say an athlete, but like your personality, if you was able to.
I was a silly guy, man. You know, my mindset was that I was always going to the NFL. You know, so I didn't hang with the kids who were smoking weed, who was drinking. I was trying to hoop, play football. You know, I was wanted to dress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wanted to have the Coogies and the Gucci loafers and stuff on.
Sure.
You know, the Pradas back in high school. So I was I was a cool guy. Everybody knew me. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about now. I know a lot of people from the person I was in high school.
When you talk about the Gucci loafers and the Coogee and stuff like that,
Guess jeans.
Yeah, man, Detroit as a fashion city,
Yeah.
you know, around the nation, knowing that you've, you know, been different places, travel, like talk, if you can talk a little bit about the difference that you see, like from Detroiters when it comes to the sauce, the fashion, and
It's no place like Detroit. First off, there's no woman nowhere else. I done been to a lot of cities. There's no woman like a Detroit woman. And there's no place when it comes to that sauce like Detroit. You know, at one particular time, we were like the #1 location that sold Cartiers. You know, outside of Paris, LA, New York, we were the #1 location who sold Cartiers. So anyone you see that's in Houston that's rapping, that's got a pair of Cartier glasses on their face, I can guarantee you that came from Detroit somewhere. Somebody told them about it, or they seen somebody from the D with some Cartiers on. If it was wires, frames, buffaloes, you know, buffalo frame, wood grains, you know, all of those, that come from the city of Detroit, you know. And when I travel around the city, around the state, the country, it's you know, you got some places where there's Mexican and black mix, you got some white and black, but Detroit is just really black on black. There's no mixture here, you know. We just real black people, and you know, we're real hustlers. You know, if you can make it in the city of Detroit, you can make it anywhere.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Now let's them books probably want to be seen right now. If I
Yeah, they wanna
be seen. Oh yeah, that's actually perfect too. Okay, so let's kind of fast forward a little bit. When did this journey begin? As we can see in the background, the book, The $27 Millionaire.
Yes, sir.
You were able to turn $27 into a multi-million-dollar company.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the beginning when this idea even came about. If I'm not mistaken, a critical time for you was March 20th, 2020. Is that when it began, or did this idea begin before then?
This idea began way before then.
Okay.
You know, like I said, March 20th, 2020 was just the first job I had.
Oh,
That's when I had to get the $27 worth of product. But the journey actually goes back to the rubber bands. I was married in 2016. My ex-wife now ended up getting a life insurance policy for like $250,000. At that time, I was just trying to figure it out. Was we going to start a Subway? Were we going to start a staffing agency? I brought everything I'm doing now, I brought it to her. She shot it down. I came home one day from work, empty house, Dear John letter, $1,500. She just wanted to live her life, So people who watching this, I know they're like, damn, 50, I would have heard her. I would have did this. Let me know where your mindset would have been if you were in that position. But all I can think about was like, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do right now at this time? And you remember the rubber bands that came out that said WWJD. So I took the money and ended up getting on an app called Made in China was the app. I ordered like 500 rubber bands and just went downtown, got in my van. I was actually homeless at this time because I couldn't use the $1,500 to get a place to stay. I couldn't use that $1,500 to continue to pay that $1,100 mortgage. I just had to just going on about my business. So I was staying in the van, got me a membership to LA Fitness in Dearborn. That's where I would take showers at. Go downtown and just ask people like, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in Detroit? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, make a donation. So the rubber bands was costing me anywhere between 3 to 7 cents. So anything you gave me was a
That's
a plus.
genius,
What I'm
bro.
saying? So I was really looking at that like back in the day, nickel bags. So if I can get you to give me $5, that's really a bag. So I'm running around downtown. I ended up going to the city council. The city council has open forum every Tuesday. It's been for years, been like that. So I went down into open forum, gave them all rubber bands. They put it up on the web, on the Facebook, like with their rubber, with their hand up in the air. When I came back down there, everybody wanted to buy it. It was calling me the Believe Man. So for the next 6 months, what I would do is I learned about manifestation. So I learned that your mind, you just got to really trick your mind to believe in whatever you want to happen. So I started going to Rosedale Park, parking in front of people's houses, knowing that this is my house. Like this is my crib for the night. I can go to Dearborn, take a shower, then go back downtown, go to work. That was my whole routine. Find a spot in Rosedale. I was parking in different houses in North Rosedale Park, South Rosedale Park every night. Sleeping in the van, making sure I got at least enough to put $20 in the tank, fill the tank up. Because every day wasn't a day of selling 100 rubber bands,
No,
20.
definitely.
Some days maybe 2. Some days I probably sold 10. Some days I probably sold 100. But just made sure I had at least $20 to put into the tank to be able to fill up the tank for the night, go to Dearborn, shoot back downtown. So that's really what the journey started. So within 6 months, I saved up like $17,000. Now the way
Off
God,
rubber
off all rubber bands, I was putting all the money right in the spare tire in the back of the trunk of the van. That's what my job was.
One question, and I want you to remember where you was about to go to. My question is the discipline to hold on to the money. Like, what was your goal? Like, did you say, I want to wait till I get 17,000, or did you have a number? Like, what stopped you? Because I'm sure at 5,000 or 10,000, you could have gotten into a place, or whatever the case may be. And what was your goal at that time?
I don't even think I had a goal, man. Everybody was just shooting back and forth out of town. At that time, I could have grabbed a bag and shot to Knoxville or something. But I was like, this is the life I want to live. I got to leave that behind. I don't even think I had a goal at that time. But what was crazy was me parking over there in Rosedale Park. One day I was riding over there in the evening, just going back over there to chill. Like I would even go over there and go to the park and chill. I'm riding past a house. The police were outside of this house. Bushes was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Bushes was higher than the house. I just got out the car, asked police, what's going on? They like, man, we've been writing this guy tickets for fucking months. You know what I'm saying? Blight tickets and this type of ticket. I took the sign off the door, Googled the guy, looked him up on Facebook, found him. He was living in Southfield, older guy. Went out there and met him and told him what was going on with the house. He didn't even want the house. You know what I'm saying? But it was like about to go into foreclosure. I told him, let me buy the house from you for $6,500, and then let me worry about the taxes, the water bills, and all these other bills. He was like, let's do it. So I didn't even really have a plan about no apartment. my credit is messed up. I ain't got no job to show them no job receipts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my mind was just more so just getting the city to believe. I'm thinking the rubber bands. I really thought at the time this Believe 313 was going to be like the city logo. So I'm like, okay, maybe somebody gonna see it and the city gonna buy it, or and then that'll just put me on.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought I was gonna be some type of merch, some T-shirt guy. Detroit versus everybody that just came out at the time. So what I ended up doing was making some shirts also that said "Believe in Detroit." So I seen how Tommy took off. I said maybe I can do the merch. So that's what my mind was at. It wasn't even really about get the 5,000 and get a crib and this and that. But when I ran into the police officer, now I switched. I said, I got to get a foundation. I got to get out this car to get me a foundation. Now I'll be able to move. Because
roughly how long, not to cut you off, roughly how long was that with you not having a home?
Like a little bit more than 6 months. Have a little bit more than 6 months. So did the deal with the older gentleman. And my whole goal was just to take it room by room. So went downtown to the land bank. He had some type of, the land bank had some type of agreement with him. Like they were just about to take the house. So I had to go do something with them where I had to clean the house. I had 6 months to get the house together. And each month I had to show progress. So the first thing was to clean the land, the grass and all the blight up outside. And then the next thing, you have to either paint or get the water running, get the DT. They have to send monthly progress reports to the land bank. So the first thing I did was went out there and I ain't even had nothing to even cut the grass, the bushes down with, right? I had an axe and I'm
whacking it.
Man, I'm happy to be at this point, like homeowner. I'm out the van, I'm whacking away. The church next door to the house where I stay at, they were doing the roof. White guy just came down there and just gave me like a electric saw. Like they see me out there whacking like an African.
Say them Nigerian roots.
That's what it was, them Nigerian roots. I'm whacking down trees with the axe. They gave me a saw, an electric saw. I used that to cut down the rest of the house. So once I got into the house, my whole goal was just to get room by room. You know what I'm saying? So the first room I got together was the bedroom and the bathroom. I used some of the money to have a guy come in and redo the bathroom for like $3,000. So all I needed to do was just be able to sleep in one room and use the bathroom, take a shower. I had blocked the rest of the house off with like sheets and put plastic over all the windows. So my goal was just to get room by room. So now that I'm in the house and I'm able to sleep on the air mattress, all I had was an air mattress. My friend had gave me a space heater. And my mother gave me like a 38-inch TV I had put on some boxes. So that was all that was in the room. That's all I needed. So now I can shoot back downtown with the rubber bands. I got a foundation now, so room by room, I chopped away at the house, you know what I'm saying, until I got it livable for myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then ultimately for them to, say, hey, we see you making the progress that you need to, and you all good.
Yeah, they ended up, I don't know when it was, but say around December, January time, I remember they gave me a certificate of completion from the land bank. And that was one of the biggest deals of my life, bro, to be a homeowner.
For sure.
That was huge for me, and especially knowing the process that I came through. Because, like I said, when I went to the house and I had that money, all I can think about was like, what would Jesus do at this time? Like, because I'm from the city. Honestly, we being real with ourselves. Most people would have went left.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I could have went left. That's where most people think I'm from, that era where we go left instantly.
For sure.
But I had to figure out for my kids the future. You know what I'm saying? And now that I look back, none of this, God had a way bigger story for me. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted me to be able to go through those different testimonies, to be able to talk to somebody who's going through something right now.
100%, 100%, man. That's so key and pivotal, man. And I'm glad that you able to talk about it and open up, because I think it's imperative for young men, specifically young men that actually come from, a background where your role models and the people that you looked up to, was street guys, getting money, because when those are your role models, you know what I mean, and those are the people that you look to, when you hit hard times, it kind of makes it damn near like second nature for you to instantly hop in that bag and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
go there.
yeah,
But for you, you're showing people that you can literally come from that. Like you can literally see that, you know what I
right.
mean? And still dream bigger,
Yeah,
still want greater, you know what I mean, for
yeah.
yourself, bro. So that's dope, bro. Um so from that point, what's the next move? Did you shift to the cleaning company at that point, or like how did that
No,
go?
no. Right then, I was more so still. It went from rubber bands to T-shirts.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even know nothing about. I didn't know nothing about no cleaning or anything. So let's fast forward a couple years. My youngest son at the time, he didn't want to play football. You know, I was trying to push the sports onto them. So me and him went downtown and we're walking around downtown. I'm just showing him that you can be a millionaire by, I say, all these people walking past, they probably millionaires. You know, you don't have to play sports. You don't have to rap. We walked past the Shinola Hotel. White guy was standing at the light. You know, right, I'm at the light before you go to the across the street to go to the Nike store. And I say, excuse me, sir. I say, can you tell my son that, you know, you can be a millionaire without rapping? And he's like, yeah, sure, man. He got to give him some information. He was like, you guys should come by my hotel and I can show you something. My man, I'm like, a white guy talking about coming up, stop playing with me, you know? But he ended up being one of the owners of Shinola.
Mm.
So me and him sat down and talked, and I'm pitching the rubber bands to him because now I'm thinking this would be the perfect watch logo for Shinola. They represent the city of Detroit. We can do a Believe in Detroit watch. You know, I'm coaching football at the time. He like, well, listen, let's do a tour of our headquarters in the city of Detroit. And then, you know, I'm going to put you with some people and then we can see how it go. So we did a tour, myself, a couple of actually KA came through the tour, Mr. White from the Detroit Youth Choir, because actually Mr. White from the Detroit Youth Choir reached out to me and wanted some shirts for his kids to say Believe in DYC. I ended up getting him the shirt, so we had a connection. We went to do the tour, so when it was time for me to sit down with the people he had aligned me up with, we went into an office. Room was dirty. And lady like, oh my God, I apologize. Let me clean this off real quick. Our cleaning company is terrible. I instantly, I got a cleaning company. You know, never had a cleaning company in my life or nothing, but you know, I always looked at myself as a professional cleaner because my mama come in the house at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. from work. Like, get your ass up. The house ain't done. Your chores ain't done. The dishes. So I've always had to be cleaning my whole life. So I instantly, I got a cleaning company. She's like, oh, you do? She's like, yeah, okay, well, give us a proposal and this and that. I don't know shit about no proposal. I don't know nothing about how to even build.
Man, that take a lot
level.
of guts, bro. That take a lot. I mean, it may not, but like I know the feeling of being in the situation where you see an opportunity and it's like you literally just going out on a limb and you just making up shit like, oh yeah, I could do that.
I can do that, yeah.
But just having that will, like, I'm gonna figure it out when I get back.
Man,
So yeah,
I went home that day and I Googled and YouTube every cleaning company, how much do you charge? And it was coming up crazy numbers. I'm like, don't nobody pay this for no cleaning, you know? So I said, let me just do my own numbers. So I was like, how much would I want to get paid? And I needed 4 people to do the job and how much, and I said, if I can make $1,500 to $2,000 a month, I'm straight. Yeah, I can live my life off $2,000 a month. At this time, I'm living off rubber bands, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I came up with a number of $6,500 a month. That was enough to take care of my employees and for me to get $2,000. I think it was like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So I ended up contacting Horatio Williams, which has been my mentor from day one. I've known him through this whole journey. And I was telling him about what was going on. And he said, man, you need to send a FOIA, a Freedom of Information. I'm like, what is that? So you can send, you know, mostly all documents are public information. So contracts from other companies, whatever company had the contract first, I can then present a FOIA to Shinola and say, hey, can I get the contract to judge off of what I should charge? So I send them a FOIA to be able to see what I can judge off the previous contract. Now my contract already at 6,500, bro. I'm already spending.
Right.
I already know what I'm buying. I already know, I see myself in there cleaning. I go back to take them the proposal, let's say maybe 2 weeks later, go back up there and I got my proposal. I'm ready to give it to them. And the lady gives me the previous contract. So just imagine my contract at 65.
Right.
They already paying close to 18 a month, 18,000 a month for cleaning. So what I had to do was just tell her that I needed some more time. I was here to tell them I need some more time to put the contract all the way together. So I took that, knocked off a few thousand, and told them I put myself on probation for a year, and let's figure out how we can, if I do good this first year, then I can come back at the price that you guys are paying the contract now.
Yeah.
And, right there, can you imagine I'm about to lose out on almost $10,000 to $12,000 a month?
Facts.
When I seen that, man, I instantly had gas, bro.
For real.
I'm like, whoa.
Straight up.
That's life changing. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So I took that, and they still didn't really jump on it either so quick. What really happened was COVID came around. So when COVID came around, I dove into the CDC. Like, I learned everything about chemicals that kill any disease, virus, bacteria, whatever the chemical it was, I learned about it.
And just for the listeners, what is CDC?
Disease.
You don't have to say it verbatim, but like in general, like what does
So that's where all of the that's who told us we had to be on lockdown.
Okay.
Any type of
the CDC. Okay,
CDC.
yeah.
So the Controlled Disease Center.
Okay.
So Center for Controlled Disease. So that tells us, and then you have something on there, EPA, what tells you every chemical that kills whatever virus or bacteria, different things like that. So I just dove and I started learning whatever I learned on there. I email it to everybody. I CC 5, 10 people who I know that's at Shinola, or I didn't got their emails, just to let them know, hey, your cleaning company should be doing this. You're
qualifying yourself, showing that you know what you're doing beyond just walking into a building and just rubbing stuff down and vacuuming, but actually breaking down the science of it.
Yes, sir. So if this cleaning company y'all have right now ain't doing this, well, this is what they should be doing, because we will be doing this.
Yeah.
I'm sending them probably 2-3 times a week, to the point to where they ask me, can you get these chemicals for us? So once he responded back, one of the top hierarchies of Shinola was like, can you get some of these chemicals for us? I'm like, yeah. So I knew I was in the door. Fast forward, say March 20th. So I start promoting on Instagram, Facebook, that I'm a cleaning company. March 20th, 2020, a church on the east side contacted me and was like, hey, we need to get our building clean, because in order for the church to get money, they needed to have it clean. You know what I'm saying? They only get money through the people who come to church, through their tithes.
Right. So it needs to be a clean environment so that the people could feel comfortable coming in there during that time.
Yes, sir. So they wanted to document it and everything. I wasn't even really into content. It really came from the church while they was filming me cleaning up. I'm like, oh, this is a good idea to start filming. I charged them $1,500 for the job, and I only needed $27 worth of product. So I bought that product for them. Halfway through that job, they recommended me to another church. So I charged that church $1,500. Halfway through that job, they recommended me for another church. So that $27 turned into $4,500 within like 4 days.
Yeah. So the $27 Millionaire is you taking $27 worth of cleaning product.
Yes, sir.
And turning it into a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
When did things begin to get like a little, I don't want to say crazy, because crazy denotes crazy, but like when did things get like, whoa, like this is like the money is starting to come in, like I'm really seeing myself being able to like live off of this, like my we set, we good, like off of cleaning?
I got on an app called Angie's List. During that same time, let's say March or April, I got on a list called Angie's List. A company down river called Packrite. They're a Ford Motor Company, third party company, warehouse. They contacted me. And I told them, give me $10,000 a month and I clean your building. They instant, let's do it.
Damn.
That was like in May 8th, actually, 2020. Shinola account started in July, say July 1st. So Packrite, Shinola, that's, anywhere between 15 to 18 a month. Now I'm still have all my house residential jobs. I still got the churches.
Right.
Then let's say around August, Henry Ford Hospital contacted us.
Wow.
So they needed cleaning at their, not at the hospital, but at a place where that cleans all of their, people who clean the sheets. There's a building downtown that cleans all the Henry Ford Hospital sheets and everything. So they needed cleaning there. That was like $20 a month. So now I'm up to almost $40,000 a month and just 4 buildings, not even talking about the houses and the residential. So it clicked in the summertime, 2020, like, damn, okay, so we can really make some money. I still didn't know that it was going to get to where it was at.
Yeah, for sure. But
I was happy with just that, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And I assume did you start getting a team? How did you go about that?
So that's where the staffing came in.
Got you.
So now it's like we doing 5 residentials a day. I got 3 people at Shinola. I got 3 people at Packrite. We got 7, 8 people at Henry Ford, and this is every day. I reached out to other staffing agencies, and they telling me some crazy numbers. I'm like, I can do this shit myself.
For sure.
So I started going to the projects, knocking on where I'm from. Like, listen, you want to work today? I got some jobs for you. And then I say, you know what? Let me start looking into what it takes to become a staffing agency. Jump back into my YouTube university again.
And that's so important because you showing throughout these stages that as you ascend, you gotta go back to knowledge mode.
Yes.
Gotta go back to student mode.
Education is everything.
Yeah, 100%. That's good.
Education is everything. So I had to jump back into my YouTube mode to really see what it takes to become a staffing agency, to learn about. Now I need to learn about markups, far as if someone calls me and say, we want to hire you, so how much can I pay my employee, and then how much the markup I can charge you on top of what I'm paying him hourly. So that's what I've learned about the markup. So started going to the projects, just knocking on doors, getting people to come work. So we did that for all of 2020. We just cleaned those 3 locations, and then did the churches. We probably did at least 10 to 15 churches a month. Residential, it was just crazy. The residential was crazy because everybody who was getting COVID were calling us.
Yeah.
So now we're doing
Right. Yeah.
So now we got people who are going to the hospital and they about to come home. They want their house sanitized.
Yep.
And I was doing something called electric fogging, where I can go in and get the chemicals. So everybody had a fogging machine during this time, but it was the chemicals that you put in there that can kill the virus within 4 minutes or less. So now we're doing these jobs, and those jobs were like anywhere between $8,000 to $1,000 a house. We're doing maybe 4 to 5 on an average, every day during 2020.
That is amazing, brother. I ain't gonna lie. That's amazing to me because I always tell people, just look around. Everything can be monetized.
Yes.
Sometimes when people begin, it's natural things. You talked about how your mom used to make y'all clean up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that naturally kind of built that in you.
Yeah.
And so I talk to people and I ask them this one question, what do you enjoy doing the most? And don't, try to give, you can just say video games if that's what you do. You could say smoking weed if that's what you do. Whatever it is, what is your gift? What you good at? What's your, something that you naturally gotta, a hold on. It could be monetized, man.
Yes, sir.
Everything is a business. So to see that you was able to take something that you was doing as a child, cleaning, and then be able to do what you doing now with it, bro. That's amazing, man.
You know what? During this journey, I got a book from Dan. Well, not actually from Dan Gilbert, but he wrote a book called 19 Isms. And one of the isms is take advantage of the inches that are around you. That's what my book is about how I took his isms and incorporated it into my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Money and numbers follow, they don't lead. Take the roast out the oven. So these are some of his isms that I just incorporated into myself.
Man.
And like you just said, look around you. All the inches we need are right around us. If you smoke weed, figure out how you can make some money off of delivering it.
Yeah.
Or how you can figure out how you can grow it. You know what I'm saying? Or cleaning for myself. Like I always tell people who start cleaning companies and shit, your employees are right on your block. If you got an apartment, if you stay in an apartment building and you just started a cleaning company, go get some flyers made and put it in everybody's door, inside your apartment building, and be the cleaner for your building first. And then the word of mouth is going to travel.
How important is it to be sociable and, building relationships? Because you strike me as that person, even for you to have the guts to go downtown outside and just talk to random people and say, hey, I got these. Do you believe you? A lot of people don't have the confidence to be able to do that. How important is it to overcome that and actually be able to do that?
So we all have a genius level talent. There's 9 forms of genius level talents. Music smarts, reasonable smarts, people smarts. I'm a people smarts person. I've never met a stranger. I don't have an ego. Like I still work every Sunday. I work cleaning the building. So some people are music smart, like Kanye West. He can see beats in his head. Jay-Z can shake his head to a beat and spit out a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? I can't put 2 words together. I'm not a music smart person. So relationships is the key, but being very sociable is also the key. You got to be able to talk to people, to listen, So that's really my genius level talent, is being a people smart person, where I've never met a stranger. I give everybody the opportunity to present themselves to me, regardless of whatever it is. And I can always talk to whoever it is,
100%. Now, in 2024, first off, let's jump a little bit more into the book.
Okay.
You talked about the isms, right?
Yes.
What sparked the idea to actually put your thoughts and ideas into book form?
One of my brothers named Ash Cash.
Shout out to Ash Cash.
Yeah,
I watched his show too. Yeah,
most definitely. The Vault. Me and him had created a relationship at InvestFest 2023, and he's the book man. And then, sometimes, a lot of people don't watch podcasts, they read books. And then a book could be here forever. And then really, I wanted to really dive deep. A lot of time when you do podcasts, you can't really dive deep into the whole story. So I wanted to be able to put a book form together to dive deep into my story, to show a person that I was homeless. During that process, these are the ways I overcame each chapter of my life and incorporating the isms. So when I got that book that Dan Gilbert wrote, I felt like, how can I go wrong with following the footsteps of a billionaire?
Yeah.
If these are the isms that he followed, why should I incorporate this into my life?
100%.
So in the book, that's what the book dives deep. It's just not really about my story. It's about how people can scale their life on whatever level they're at.
100%.
If you, like you said, smoking weed, figure out how you can figure it out is one of his isms. If you doing hair, you know what I'm saying, take the roast out the oven, put a little salt on it, see if it's good, put it back in there, get you a shop, take it back out if the shop didn't work, go back to the basement.
Yeah.
So these are just things that I incorporated in my life from Dan Gilbert.
Man, dope. 100%, man. Dope. And where can they find that book at? How can they get it?
The book is on Amazon, the $27 Millionaire. Actually, we're going to put it on sale for $3.13, starting November 1st. If not, you can always go to my Instagram, Believe313 Staffing, send me a DM. I probably got 200 of them in the car. You know, I'm back
out the trunk
Yes,
with
sir.
it,
Yes, sir. I'm back to it. I'm back
Yeah,
to like the rubber bands.
straight
So
up.
I'm pulling up to pop-up shops. Even when I was at InvestFest, people was like, man, I didn't think you were going to be the one selling your book. Like, I have to make myself acceptable. You know what I'm saying? I have to make people from the outside feel like they can approach me on any level. And I'm
100%.
Carol's son. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, this cleaning it ain't took my mind all the way to the right. I don't feel like I'm no celebrity. Some people say I am, but I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm just a Detroit guy from the east side, you know, that God put me in this position to help.
100. And speaking of God putting you in a position to help, with this Cage Rage program that you just launched this year, right?
Yep, earlier this year,
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the inspiration behind that.
So like I said, growing up in the projects, I've always had friends go in and out of jail. I've seen people around me go in and out of jail. I've never been to prison myself. You know, I did 3 days. At the precinct is the most.
Any day is too long. You hear
Any day is
me?
too long. But one of my brother, Andre, he had gotten into some trouble. He was a vice principal of a school in Maryland, came home and got into some trouble, ended up getting 10 years. So we were always taught, you know, he had master's degrees, bachelor's degrees. We were always taught when he come home about getting a job, and he was always talking about how, you know, he's not going to be in that position where he was at. So I, you know, being witty as I am, just had to figure out a way to help him when he come home. And Cage Rage came across my mind because when I started hiring returning citizens, their mindset, it was totally different than the young guys who would be at the stadiums cleaning. So you got some young guys who ain't never been in prison who quick to call somebody a B word, where you get called a B word in jail, it's over with.
It's over, yeah.
You know, and it actually happened at one of the stadiums, and the gentleman gave me a call. The guy had did 40 years in jail named Blood West. He had 3 life sentences he beat. And he called me and said, Mr. Kelly, come down here right now. A little guy called me out my name. And just off the strength of you, I ain't took him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know. So I got down there, kicked it with him, and then Cage Rage popped in my mind. Like, I gotta have these gentlemen go through emotional intelligence. You know, they gotta figure out how to have emotional intelligence on the work site. And then the young guys need to also understand that you can't disrespect everybody. You know, some people take words to the heart. So, and then I also thought about how most drug dealers, people who robbing, they're really entrepreneurs. They just don't know how to bottle it up. You know, any drug dealer who's out here and went to jail is really a boss for real. You know, he just don't understand how to get the EIN and the LLC and go get the contracts and different things. So now that I've learned this, why wouldn't I spread the love to my brothers and sisters that's out here in the world?
Yeah. 100%. And man, that's crucial. That's real important too, because you talk about people coming home, and that's one of the scary things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With brothers being on these job sites and dealing with these different personalities, where, you know, I often hear people that come home from prison, you know, say things like, bro, there's more respect in there than it is out here. Like, I don't even like dealing with people. I stay in my own little, cause guys be talking crazy, and you know, a guy, you know, be in your close range and don't say excuse me. You know, just all of these things that, you know, us out here, we would kind of look at as minute, is real big things that can get a guy hurt
in prison.
Killed. Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
And that's why that's also part of Cage Rage is to, and I try to do most of the classes. If I'm not doing a class, it's going to be someone, I don't have regular counselors come in. I have people who already serve time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they don't have a regular counselor and a person who just did 10 years don't have anything in common.
Yeah, I believe I saw Mama Grizzly.
Mama Grizzly was a supervisor and instructor there. And she talked about the 300 minutes. You know, in the Fed side, you only get 300 minutes a month to be able to talk on the phone. So can you imagine having somebody out here in the world that you in love with and you only got 300 minutes a month to talk to them? So a lot of that stuff, you know, I didn't even know about that. So can you imagine Puff in his position, you know, only having to spread that 300 minutes around, unless he's buying minutes, but
Yeah.
300 minutes that they give you to be able to talk to the world. So have like Mother Grizzly come through, Andre came through. We had several different, Blood West also came, Mr. Baskin came through and talked to the people. But that's also why I do Cage Rage, to show them I'm no different than you. You know what I'm saying? The reason you're going to be able to clean at this stadium is because there's a black man who got you this job.
Yeah.
So when you go down here, don't jack it off for all of us.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be accountable for each other. If you see somebody else doing something wrong, step up and say, hey, bro, we ain't about to do that right
100%.
now. Wait till after the job, you know. So I try to let them know that, hey, I started with $27. I really started with 3-cent rubber bands.
Nah,
you know
for
what I'm
real.
saying?
If you want to be technical, yeah.
And then I tell them about the whole story from the 1500 and let them know. And they always be like, oh, man, I think I would have. You know, I was really 1 second away from telling them, like, bro, don't come back in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you get out there in the world, man, don't come back in here. You know, if I would have went left, that was it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and nobody would have been hired. No stories would have been told.
Facts.
So I really have to give them my story to let them know your life ain't over with. It's just starting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with in terms of being able to, you know, work for you and the company, how are you still hiring people? Is it like you got a certain amount of people that you work with? Like, how does that process work for people that may want to get a job?
Yeah, they can go to the website, believe313staffing.com. We're always hiring. I'm always getting new contracts. The stadiums is more so like at capacity right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got people who've been working there for the last couple of years. But it depends on the person. I can probably fit them in or whatever, but I got a lot of more other contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I got one right now in Saginaw that just came up. We're doing more restoration also in the city. Well, Southeast Michigan. In Saginaw, we're cleaning out the school right now that caught on fire. Got stuff up in Sterling Heights, so I can put people there in different places right now.
For sure. And then with the program Cage Rage, how often is that class, or do y'all get together? And how can people, you know, join in? Because I know a lot of brothers that's, you know what I mean, that need it. You know what I mean? We all need it to some degree, but specifically to brothers that's, you know, getting back acclimated with society.
So go to my website, or you can email me at believe313staffing.com or believe313staffing@gmail. So that was the first class. So now we're going to start the class back up in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring mental health therapists in. Talk to Tiff is going to be one of them, because that was really one of the things that helped me also. I didn't talk about it, but was therapy. You know, therapy was really that turning point, you know, from me not going left.
Mm-hmm.
But around mid-January, February, we're going to bring the class back. Like I said, we give everybody $20 just to come.
That's dope.
You know, we sit down and try to figure out what's your genius level talent. This year, we helped a guy start a security company, helped another guy, you know, start doing stocks. He learned about stocks while he was in jail, helped him formulate that. So my ultimate goal is not to really work for me, but for you to work for yourself, for me to show you how to get an EIN, LLC, give you all the connects that I have to build you up as an entrepreneur.
Man, super dope, man. Yeah. Super dope. Well, it's definitely been an honor to have you, bro. I feel like a lot of people can get a lot of benefit from this conversation. If you got any words that you want to tell somebody, and then let people know where to find you at on social media again before we get out of here.
I'm on Instagram, Believe313Staffing. That's across the board. Facebook, Twitter. Like I said, if you're trying to get in contact with us for Cage Rage or a job, or you just want to help in some sort of fashion, send me an email at believe313staffing@gmail. Words of inspiration that I can give to the kids out there, because I know everybody's not going to really follow that entrepreneur journey, is you can't lie your way out no statement, big fella. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to mess around in the streets and dibble and dabble and you get caught up, you know, it's our constitutional right to not say nothing. I plead the fifth, because when you get in those rooms with these lights on you and you making all these statements and different things like that, and then try to get to court and say I was lying, it's not going to work. So understand your rights, understand the law, and everybody get out there and vote.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, man. Foreign Magazine, Pulse of the Culture, Mario Kelly. Make sure y'all go get that book, The $27 Millionaire. It's
Yes,
on the
sir.
flow. Let's get it.